You have folks that are still, in the industry, and they've been like, I wouldn't advise you to talk about it, blah, 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 blah. But I think that they're living, they're all living in kind of a fake world. Um, I would, illegally naked short sell stocks every day, as long as I was collecting commissions. And the bank did not care. The client will send you an order electronically. All you do is you click on the order, you go to execute, it'll pull up a little box, you type in anything you want, and you just hit OK. You don't ask questions, you appreciate the order. And if that involves shorting a stock naked, you do it anyway. Because management essentially tells you just create the business. Anything on the backside, we will deal with. So you're collecting money on the front, you collect money on the back, and you actually have zero risk. Clients never see that. All the prime lenders, they all do it consistently.
So in 2016, Goldman Sachs was charged with this clever new way of breaking the short selling rules. They had this whole team of people tucked away in a back office. When a client would call to borrow stock, the team would use computers to automatically locate stocks they had in inventory. This is normal. You always got to locate a stock before you loan it, because you obviously can't loan something you don't have, right? Well, halfway through the day or so, the inventory could dry up. The system would say, no more shares available, sorry. Wah, wah. But Goldman was like, fuck it, there must be a secret stash somewhere, right? So they'd say, we have reasonable belief there are leftovers we could locate. And they created a program where when you press the F3 button on your keyboard, poof, it overrides the dried up supply. That's it. Just hit F3 and the computer would say, automatically located, even if it wasn't true. So you could do this as many times as you wanted, magically creating phantom shares that didn't actually exist. But guess who worked in the building right across the street? The SE motherfucking C. So Goldman got caught and paid a $15 million settlement, which in normal person.
You have folks that are still, in the industry, and they've been like, I wouldn't advise you to talk about it, blah, 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 blah. But I think that they're living, they're all living in kind of a fake world. I would, illegally naked short sell stocks every day, as long as I was collecting commissions. And the bank did not care. The client will send you an order electronically. All you do is you click on the order, you go to execute, it'll pull up a little box, you type in anything you want, and you just hit OK. You don't ask questions, you appreciate the order. And if that involves shorting a stock naked, you do it anyway. Because management essentially tells you just create the business. Anything on the backside, we will deal with. So you're collecting money on the front, you collect money on the back, and you actually have zero risk. Clients never see that. All the prime lenders, they all do it consistently.
So in 2016, Goldman Sachs was charged with this clever new way of breaking the short selling rules. They had this whole team of people tucked away in a back office. When a client would call to borrow a stock, the team would use computers to automatically locate stocks they had in inventory. This is normal. You always got to locate a stock before you loan it, because you obviously can't loan something you don't have, right? Well, halfway through the day or so, the inventory could dry up. The system would say, no more shares available, sorry. Wah, wah. But Goldman was like, fuck that, there must be a secret stash somewhere, right? So they'd say, we have reasonable belief there are leftovers we could locate. And they created a program where when you press the F3 button on your keyboard, poof, it overrides the dried up supply. That's it. Just hit F3 and the computer would say automatically located, even if it wasn't true. So you could do this as many times as you wanted, magically creating phantom shares that didn't actually exist. But guess who worked in the building right across the street? The SE motherfucking C. So Goldman got caught and paid a $15 million settlement, which in normal person dollars is like, I don't know, like 23 cents.
I was doing this, and I wasn't even really kind of aware. All of a sudden, when I was out and I'm sitting in COVID and David and I start talking, I'm like, oh my God, like this happens everywhere, every day.
These people that are doing this have to be put in jail. So the question is, how can we exert pressure to force the Department of Justice and other people that have the ability to put people in handcuffs to actually do it?
We're really doing this. Kyle Tucker Trade Talk. Legit. Kyle Tucker.
Sorry about that. You guys don't care about that. You guys don't care about that. All right, let's see if Ham's called. Yeah, Ham. No, he didn't. No, he did not. Yes, he did. About 15 minutes ago. All right, I just want to quickly, before I call him, I want to show you, I guess I have to go to OTC markets because the stupid Yahoo doesn't seem to work on my computer. Okay, let's just quickly do this. I won't take long and then we'll call Ham. Because I know it's later in the day and usually Ham's on by now. And you usually have your ham fix. And the ham fix is very important. Let's see. All right, here we go. This is Railtown AI Technology, RLAIF, trading for 34 cents. I don't think I told you about this stock 10 cents ago, but I probably told you about it 8 cents ago. And I continue to emphasize that the time is now, I think. And I'll show you why. One reason why. Here's the real-time quote. You got 25,000 to buy at 0.333 at Virtue. At this crap firm, they're all crap firms. Oh, my live stream cut out. It cut out. It cut out. How does it cut out? It shows I'm still streaming. It's back now. Okay. Let me quickly do this and then I'll call Ham so there can be no more delays. All right, but look at, when you look at the bid and ask, it's probably all fake. These are probably fake, but I don't know, you know, for sure. But there's a lot of buying underneath the stock. We can probably expand that and look a little bit more. It's pretty strong underneath it. That's how I point that out. I just want to get to the news. Let's read this together. Let me make sure you're still there. Yeah, all right. Let me read it to you. I want to go down to Railtown. Verified company profile. Check. 12G3-2B certified. Check. Transfer agent verified. Check. Independent board of directors, 2 of them at least. Check. but it's OTCQB Venture. Anyway, Railtown AI, this is today, 12/11/2024. Railtown AI to present at the AIN BC demo tonight. Railtown AI Technologies is proud to announce that the company is participating in the Artificial Intelligence Network of British Columbia demo tonight. AINBC After Dark will be hosting multiple events across the city as part of the 38th annual conference on neural information processing. Up there, it's processing systems, NEUR-IPS, taking place from December 8 to December 14 at the Vancouver Convention Center. NEUR-IPS is the world's premier gathering for researchers, practitioners, and thought leaders in artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is the world's premier gathering. This year's conference promises to be a dynamic event featuring cutting-edge presentations, workshops, and discussions on AI advancements which are shaping the future of technology. As a company at the forefront of AI-driven innovation, Railtown AI will showcase its industry-leading platform, which empowers software developers to optimize and accelerate their workflows with a mission to redefine how engineering teams harness the power of AI. Railtown AI's developer productivity platform enables developers to focus on writing code, allows them to have faster root cause analysis, to experience quicker debugging. So the platform allows for quicker debugging and more efficient code reviews. All of this with intelligent insights and automation that drives optional excellence and best practices. Quote, "We are thrilled to participate in the AINBC demo After Dark in our home city of Vancouver," said Corey Brandolini, CEO of Railtown AI. This conference is unique. Or I'll read it as it is. This conference is a unique opportunity to engage with some of the brightest minds and companies from British Columbia in AI and showcase how Railtown AI is going to bring you down to Railtown. How Railtown AI is driving meaningful change for software teams around the world. AI in BC is doing a wonderful job drawing attention to the amazing AI ecosystem in British Columbia. During the AI in BC demo night, Railtown's AI team will be on site to present Railtown's technology and to take questions from fellow innovators while exploring emerging trends in artificial intelligence. Railtown will discuss opportunities for collaboration. Attendees are encouraged to visit with the Railtown team, where they can experience live demonstrations of the company's innovative platform and learn more about the platform's impact on the software development lifecycle. NEUR-IPS 2024 marks a significant milestone for Vancouver. bringing together a global audience of AI experts and enthusiasts to a city known for its vibrant tech ecosystem. Railtown AI's involvement underscores the company's commitment to fostering innovation and to strengthening the local and international AI communities. About Railtown, Railtown AI, a Microsoft partner. Logical acquirer? Never know. But those are the clues you look for. Railtown AI, a Microsoft partner, has developed a cloud-based application general intelligence platform called Conductor. Artificial intelligence and automation, which performs tasks as well as streamlining, enhancing, and accelerating developer productivity engineering through speed, quality, automation, and best practices, which are the cornerstones and foundation of the Conductor platform. We purposely built the Conductor platform to help software companies and software developers save time. I understand it takes from months down to minutes the amount of time necessary on a project. So we'll find out. So we built Conductor to save time on redundant tasks, improve productivity, drive down costs, and accelerate developer velocity. Railtown's proprietary AI technology, designed to enable our clients to be more productive and profitable, is accessible on Microsoft's Azure Marketplace. I wonder if it's proprietary and it's new and it's a breakthrough. Does Microsoft buy Railtown, or does Microsoft try to develop it on their own? I know my guess. Corey Brandolini, Chief Executive Officer. All right, so let's get back to Funky Town. Let me see if I can let me get the speaker working first.
Battery 100%.
I have no depth. I have no depth of vision. Everything is guesswork. All right, so that's on. See if he comes on. Otherwise, there we go.
Hello.
Hey, are you presentable?
I'm in the bathroom. Can I call you right back? 1 minute?
You're live. All right.
Give me
Wash your hands after you're done.
Go back.
All right.
Call ended.
Hey, Mr. Lucky Boy's right here, asleep and warm with the heater, the blanket, the rain outdoors, smelling through the house, and he's contentedly asleep. And he says hi. And he asks if you have a treat. Trump rings DJT bell at the opening tomorrow. Mad Max. I think, Mad Max, it was you getting into a bit of a back and forth on short selling. If you're the one, that's my memory. If you are that guy, that replay, that video at the beginning of this live, and then the replay of the same video is all for you and for everybody. They do not have to locate shares. There's no limit to the supply of stock they can sell. No one cares. There's no compliance officer. There's no enforcement of the rules. Legally, you're supposed to locate shares. There's no attempt to locate shares. So these criminals that come on here and make fun of me, and I sometimes get upset, they just hit a sell button. Sell, 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 sell. And then they pretend they're geniuses. And they pretend they're here to help you. Anyway, I'm not getting upset at you. It always works me up. All right. Did you wash your hands?
I did everything I'm supposed to do, William.
All right.
So let's get going here. First of all, Donald Trump's going to ring the bell tomorrow at the New York Stock Exchange. If I knew it a couple of days earlier, put the truck out there and I would have put on there, sell naked, it's a DJT is a naked short, it's a zero. I was going to do the opposite.
I don't see why you can't get the truck out there anyway.
Well, they block the streets. The New York Stock Exchange is an empty building, William.
I know.
And they have
Wall Street's an empty street. Everything's done by these criminals by computers.
And it's an empty building, and the building is empty. There's nobody there anymore, so it's got barricades in front of it. You know, I used to go to the steakhouse across the street. Bobby Vance was right across the street. I don't know if it's still there, but everything's blocked off. You can't get down the block.
There's the cemetery down the block that you used to scream buy and sell tickets across.
Trinity Church. Yes.
Trinity Church.
And there used to be a bank on the corner of Wall and Broadway. It used to be called Irving Bank. You remember that name?
I do. Yeah.
And the symbol was letter V. All right. And, you know, we used to have meetings at the letter V, and we used to always say, and everybody, excuse my French, but this is what we used to say. I'm going to be frank. This is an adult room, right?
It is.
We used to say, let's meet at 12 o'clock at Vagina. That was Irving Bank, letter V.
Letter V.
And that's what they used to call it on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Give me a quote in Vagina, letter V. That's just old Wall Street. What can I tell you? Yeah. It wasn't me. I never said that.
Yeah, right. I trained at OLP, One Liberty Plaza, so it was right sort of there. It was, anyway, I went there. I loved that part of Manhattan, but that's a long time ago. Anyway, go on with your thing.
Anyway, so I was trying to think of it. Let's do the opposite and insult everybody who owns DJT. What the hell? We might as well, let's play the part of the short seller. Let's really bring attention to it. Let's, instead of saying, let's settle the trade, say, fuck settle the trades. Just let us keep selling counterfeit shares. Nobody cares. It's free money. Help yourself. Let's take the opposite approach. Let's make the naked short sellers heroes. Let's make them heroes instead of villains. Right? No, let's might as well take advantage of it that way. Yeah. I'm not saying do it, but let's basically insult everybody about what's going on here. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that I gotta wake up and sit here and talk about this every stupid day. Okay? We've exposed them, they're trapped, they're washing trades back and forth. And I just want to go over this for everyone on the call again today. The real short, they covered 100,000 shares 10 days ago. And they bought that around 210. If you go back and look at all the days average, it's around 210. They bought 100 back. They didn't buy it in the market. The naked short sold it to them. So they never really affected the market. But the price they covered was 210. Yesterday, the shorts reported, now they sold 20,000 more, and they sold it below 2 because the stock's been below 2. So we know exactly what they're doing. So they're basically paying higher and selling it lower. So all that tells me is that they're, if you think about it, it's like you buying the stock at 210, selling it at $1.90. They're doing the same thing with short selling. They're covering at 210 and shorting it at $1.90. They're making no sense of what they're doing. And that tells me that they're in we know they're in a pickle, but the heat is on, is what I'm trying to say. They're trying to do anything to try to get the stock down. And now they're in the business of basically washing stock back and forth to create this volume. The volume, the fake volume, so you understand, all it does is it distorts the days. Number one, it shows people think there's more trading than there is, number one. But on the real short, if you go to shortsqueeze.com, you'll see that the days to cover 1.6,220,000 shares is only 10 days based on the average volume. Well, if the average volume is all fraudulent, how could that number be correct? It's wrong. So I Googled what's a high days to cover in a real short, and they said 5 to 8 is considered high. Well, right now, with the fake volume, it's 10. So we're already at the high level already. 10 days to cover is a high number. And I Googled it. I didn't make it up. It's right there. But if you take away all the fake volume, I think the real volume on a day in finger motion is going to be around 30,000 shares. 30,000 shares, if that's the real volume, divided by 1.6 million is 54 trading days to cover. 54, not 10, 54. Now, that's taken into account that if they had to buy every 30,000 shares a day, if they bought it all right, this is the 1.6 million shares. If they purchased every share, it would take 54 days. The probability of a short seller trying to buy 30,000 shares, to buy all the shares that trade in a day, are 0 and none. They may buy 5,000 out of 30. Because people I know who specialize in one thing and they call it front running, when they see a buy order, they're going to run in front of it. So 30,000 shares a day gives you 54 trading days to cover the real short. Forget the naked short. Forget that for a second. That's 54. If my friends are running with them and the short's trying to cover, it's not going to take 54 days. It's going to take them 154 days. Because they're only going to be buying 5,000 shares a day. And that's exactly what happened in GameStop. Everybody was front running, Merlin Capital and the other shorts driving it up. They all knew they were covering. And that's what's going to happen here. So the numbers, the data is showing you. Educate yourself. Understand what we're saying. This is the real short, 1,620,000 shares. Right now they're making moves. They're buying high, selling. They're retarded. I can't even explain it anymore. No trading desk would ever allow that type of trading. That's all fraudulent trading. They would shut them down in a minute. So whoever's doing it is a criminal. We know that already. Are they doing it offshore? I don't know where they're doing it. All this trading we're seeing is for survival and nothing else. That's what you're seeing. I posted before, William, while you're on the call, I did timing sales and maybe, a 5-minute period, we had 100 lot trades. Out of 10 trades, 9 were 100 lot. 100. So basically, we have 1 million shareholders that all own 100 shares. That's what it's like. Everyone who sells and everyone who buys, it's 100 shares only. The probability of that is 0. 10 minutes later, I see the same pattern, but now they're doing it with 25 shares. You'll see the time it sells, 25 share sell orders. So now we have shareholders that only own 25 shares. These are criminals that are just playing games, and they're so lazy, they do the same numbers all the time. And it's easy to see that that's what they're doing. When you get lazy, you make mistakes. Put the 100 shares, 100, 100, 100, 100, and then they say, let's change it up, let's do 25, 25, 25. And it's just, just a machine gun of 25 shares for sale. So again, it's the same thing. William, I'll just take a step back again. Earlier today, there was a bid for 48,000 shares, William. I'll give you the exact number. Where is it? Hold on one second, everybody. Take it easy, William. I think it was 48,000 blah, blah, blah shares. It was bidding 196 and people were jumping in front of it. 100%. That's the short seller bidding. And they're going to wash that trade sooner or later. Or if they did it already, I don't know. They put a bid up. If someone bid for 48,000 shares in a liquid stock like this, do you know what I would do as a trader or a market maker? I would buy the 197 stock, 198, 199, and $2 stock. And you say, why would you take that risk? If I buy 10,000 shares at the 2, the worst I could do is sell it at 196, right? Lose 4 cents. I lose $400, right? And that's what every trader on the street would do, is they would front run a big buy order. But that's not happening. All the trades are having a 1 penny above the 196 bid, which tells me there's no fear of the buyer at 196 because that's a short seller. Do you understand that? The 196 bid is a short seller, and you say, how do you know that? Because I can tell the trading at 197 and 198, there's no fear. Who would want to sell 100 shares at 197 when you know there's a big bid at 196? I might as well hold on and sell it at $2, right? But no, they're crossing it right there because the 197 bid, the 196 bid is fake. It's a short seller. And I keep laughing. The volume is now 177, William. These guys are washing trades. Out of the 177 today, maybe 37,000 is real. The rest is all fake. All day long in the same spot. They're washing stock back and forth. That's all they're doing. And I'll just change it for a second. William, DJT, GameStop, what did I tell you? Buy the dips, sell the rips. Yesterday, they were both attacked. Today, they're both screamed the other way. These stocks the shorts are trying to create volatility. So they smash them down, then they come back and scoop it up. It's the same pattern in DJT and GameStop. It's been on almost every other day. Every day, almost, at DJT now. But GameStop has joined the ranks again with their revenue, whatever they did. So again, you can see those patterns. They need volatility. There is zero volatility in finger motion. All we have is fraudulent trading and washing of trades. Do you have any questions, William?
I guess my YouTube channel's suspended. I don't know. It's going, I think, but maybe I gotta switch to Rumble.
You got shut off on YouTube?
Well, I don't know. Cliff is saying it said that I'm suspended, but I'm going. So I don't know. I didn't know I did anything wrong.
Yeah, you're exposing fraud.
They're making money. I'm not making any money. My videos aren't monetized. All right. So Pete's asking you, is the possible short squeezing finger 1 to 2 days, like you said, or 54 days now?
No. 54 days is a short seller trying to buy back his short. I'm just trying, in a normal trading day, if he had to start buying it back, it would take him 54 days to buy it. Once he starts to buy, he's not going to have 54 days. Once it goes above 220, they're going to faint because he's going to drive it to 370, and that'll ignite the naked short.
So what
I'm just trying to
what
show
will
you
it look
that.
like?
I'm just trying to show you that the real short, if you did real data on any stock, the real short, the data is wrong because it doesn't take, 1.6 million because of the volume. The average volume is wrong or fake. That will change the days to cover from 10 to 54, is what I just tried to show you.
Okay.
This formula works in all these stocks. Because finger motion is so lightly traded, it's a classic example to educate yourself on that part of it. That's what I'm teaching you. If I was trading, I would look at finger motion and say, hey, this is a stock that's got a short. It's not 10 days, it's 54 days. You know what? I'm going to buy it based on that alone, not talking about naked shorts.
Right.
If you figure out naked shorts, you wouldn't even think about it then.
Any updates on ZJYL or GDC?
When I hear it, I will tell you. I haven't heard anything. The people I know are still there. Can I call them up and say, hey, you idiots, you own the stock, you know, blah, 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 what's going on? I can't say that. My friend's got $5 million invested in that. If he calls me up, I'll tell you.
I haven't heard Ham say we burned our boats for a long time.
I burned the shit out of that boat. I don't have anything. Yes, I agree. How do you not know I didn't burn I burned my boat? I've been here every day, 7 days a week. If that doesn't tell you I burned my boat, nothing will. I'm just trying to go forward, people. I don't go backwards. I try to recap. I put old stories up to educate you. This is a major international crime. The president of the United States needs to step in now and smack the shit out of these fucking guys.
Yesterday, I'll ask you, this is my question. Is there a limit to how many times a short seller can sell the stock, or more importantly, to how many times a lending desk can lend out fake shares? Are they limited?
So today, William, you buy 50,000 shares, a finger, right?
Right.
You go to the market, you buy it.
Yeah.
This is your first time you purchased it. You have a margin account. When your brokerage firm sees you have a margin account, they'll take your shares and lend them out. And they're lending out your 50,000 shares, which they think is real, which is fake. So they just keep borrowing the same shares. Now, yesterday, there was 200,000 shares of finger motion to borrow that was available. It goes from nothing to 200,000. So obviously, they're finding new people that are buying it that aren't up to speed on what's going on.
So there's no distinction in the system, in your account. They don't put a green check mark next to the shares that are real versus the shares that are fake. It's just any share that appears in somebody's account becomes shares to lend out.
That is correct.
And that's why Goldman Sachs is a stock loan department with the name of an investment bank on the top.
I put up before a lawsuit from 2017. The mutual funds were suing the broker-dealers on their stock loan desk because guess what? The brokerage firms don't have the shares, right? The big funds own the positions. They're the ones that lend the shares out, right?
Right.
So when a fund lends the shares out, Goldman is charging people 40%. Let's say they're charging you $2. I'll make a number up, $2. Goldman Sachs is keeping $1.60 of it, and they're giving you 40 cents of it. And the funds were screaming, saying, hey, we own the stock, you're taking 90% of the money. And that's what the lawsuit is about. If you Google it, it says mutual funds or big management funds sue broker dealers over stock loan. You can go read it yourself. I tried to contact Pat Byrne on it to address it so everybody understands it because Pat knows all about that.
Is he in Syria?
I don't know.
I hope not. Let me see. I'm trying to find another question. Somebody's telling me that in January, when I have my eye operation, I'm gonna be in heaven. It's it's not good. In the last couple of weeks, it went from fuzzy to just I can't see anything. Anyway, I played the video of that fat Morgan Stanley broker taking the orders, and I just hit the button, and I played that before you came on. And everybody's telling me they saw that video before, but it doesn't somehow get into their heads that there is no limit to how many shares the criminals can sell. They can sell as many as they hit the button.
I think that the heat is coming down on them, and I think it's getting shut down. Did I lose you, William?
No, I'm here.
I think that there's heat on these guys, and it's just going to hit the fan. The stocks are telling you. If DJT, GameStop, all these stocks are going to go up, everyone, what is it? The tide raises all boats. What is that line? I forget that side. All ships, whatever that it is.
When the tide goes out, we see who's swimming naked.
I guess, who knows? Whatever it is, but these guys are not getting away with it. Listen, we're dealing with low-level criminals. Low-hanging fruit gets hung first. Andrew Left is getting hung. Hindenburg, these guys are getting hung. If they wanted to, they should go after Jim Chanos and Citadel. That's the big hanging fruit. So they're going to go after the little guys first. So these guys are going to get busted, and that's what's going to happen. There you go.
When the tide goes out, we see who isn't hung.
I forgot the stupid line.
Okay, 54. All right, now there's no real new. Here's one. How are they going to clean out the fraud on NASDAQ if they can't determine real from fake? They can just settle the trades.
Listen, every brokerage firm, let's say Donald Trump says fix the problem. They're going to go, okay, what's the long position in finger motion? Every brokerage firm can hit a button, and they can see in 2 seconds how many shares they own. Goldman can say, I have 1 million, E-Trade 1 million, Merrill Lynch 1 million, blah, 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 blah. They add them up. The DTC has 20 million shares. You can't have 100 million longs and 20 million shares at the DTC. There's an 80 million discrepancy. The brokerage firms all will have to check the discrepancy. Like Merrill Lynch may own 1 million finger at the DTC. There's 100,000 shares. Merrill Lynch will know that they're short 900,000 shares. And they will immediately call the sellers to deliver. If they do not deliver, they just buy them in. That's it. There's nothing else to do. If you don't deliver me my shares by today at 2 o'clock, I'm buying you in. That's how it works. That's it. Someone needs to say that. That's all they have to do. The brokerage firms know they're not getting delivery. They all know it. Everybody knows. But no one's enforcing it. Enforce it, and the game's over. And that's why it's a life-changing situation, because I just described to you what they should be doing. Now, I've been doing this 24 years, and I was the only person banging the drum. Pat Byrne banged the drum. Now you got the President of the United States, Devin Nunes, the Attorney General, and the head of the FBI. If we're not going to win now, we're never going to win. And everybody on this phone, your kids, your family, your grandkids are all going to get fucked. Everyone's going to get robbed, including Donald Trump, Devin Nunes, and everybody else. That's why it's showtime now. You're on Twitter, retweet it, send it to Donald Trump, send it to Devin Nunes. No one's going to buy you. Guys like that, VIRT, are scumbags. He's a naked short seller. He's just short and steals money, and he's a scumbag because he posts on Twitter. He's a lowlife. These are not legitimate people. Ken Griffin is a private company. VIRT is a public company. That company's going to zero. Look at GMGI and KNW. I pointed them both out. Lynn Partners deals. They're both at 52-week lows, and both of them are fully funded. What good is their money if your stock price is going to get wiped out? If their money is so wonderful, how come both of their stocks are going down? Their business plans must be awful. if these two characters, these two companies we just funded, and both of them are at 52-week lows. That tells me that A, something is wrong, or their companies stink. Lynn obviously can't pick a good company because everything they invest in goes straight down, or they're manipulating the stocks. It's pretty easy to figure out. They're two different companies. I don't even know what one does. One's diabetes, and they're both going down. Like William says, does every company have a bad business plan? That's what it comes out to be.
If so, our business schools suck. If so,
Right. Guys, I have to run into therapy. I'm sorry you called me too late. I have
That's my fault.
Working on my,
it's my fault.
no problem. I'll speak to you later.
Thank you.
Call ended.
I have Susan's book. Let me grab it. Dr. Suzanne Trimbath. And she says, I think it's pretty early in her book. I think it's in the introduction or the first chapter. So let me look there. She says, they say they prevent trades from failing by enabling trades to fail. All right, let's see. Their rules allow that, this is on page 2. Their rules allow them to credit their members with an entitlement for undelivered shares, which allows their members to credit the account representing the buying investor in a failed trade. This process creates extra shares of stock for public companies, all within the rules. The DTC turned to the SEC and got approval for a rule to prohibit the companies from taking action to protect themselves, public companies. If you ask the DTC about this particular instance, they will only tell you they cannot honor requests from issuers to exit the system. The digital system, the whole electronic abattoir, because, quote, it has not been permitted by the SEC. All right, let me see if I can find a better description of what she says. Well, let's just read the first page of her book. Investors and the entrepreneurs they support are being harmed by fail to delivers and stock lending borrowing under rules approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's pretty clear. No one cares. Neither the government regulators nor the financial industry self-regulatory organizations are capable of correcting themselves. All right, here's Ann.
Andy.
Yes,
If you look at the news I just sent you on,
you're live. You're live. You're live.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm just,
don't mention vagina.
KNW just put out a press release a couple hours ago that they're going to regain compliance.
Reverse split.
Well, they haven't said that yet. How are they going to get the stock up from 23 cents to $1, right?
5 to 1.
Yeah, they're going to do, obviously, they're going to regain compliance. So the next step, the only way to get compliance is that either someone buys all the shares up and takes it up higher, or they do a reverse. So there's the Lynn point is that today's trading 1 million shares like it's going to go somewhere. It's in the 25 cents now. They're pumping it up, and they're going to probably reverse it. It's the only way out of it. There's no other way. So there you go. Just like I said, the reverse will be next. I just saw the news. I'm sitting.
Jeff Easton is going to be your new therapist. He's going to bend your knee until it hurts.
He has the brains of a pea. And it's so easy to see what he's doing.
His brain is the size of half a hollowed out pea. That's what my grandfather used to say.
I'm just looking, I saw the volume in the stock. I said, what's going on here? They must have said something there. Oh, we're going to be gaining compliance. Oh, how come you're not compliant in the first place? What happened that you went straight down? Oh, we took money. Oh, okay. That's no wonder the stock went straight down. You're dealing with Jeff Easton. That's why. It's so easy to see the way the criminal activities is. Their money is toxic. It's worthless. So anyway, I'm waiting to get zapped. I'll speak to you later.
All right. Thanks. So anyway, just the first page. If you're not already aware of the problem, this book will show that there are failure to deliver securities to settle trades throughout the global financial system. Although the data and examples in this book are primarily from the United States, it happens everywhere that the financial industry includes self-regulatory organizations. Thank you, Bill Clinton. Some of the fails to deliver for the last 4 years, that's my eyesight. Some of the fails to deliver last for years in the United States because the centralized clearing and settlement organization provides that fails to settle on a given day will be resubmitted with a new settlement day the next day ad infinitum. No one cares. The New York Stock Exchange admitted in a public forum in Washington, D.C. on November 30, 2005, that using the Central Clearings Organization's stock borrow program to cover up these failures to settle has resulted in the violation of the, quote, one share, one vote, unquote, rule. Some shares of stock have no votes in corporate governance issues, or sometimes just a fraction of the vote. The broker-dealer firm makes choices about which votes to count in a completely opaque process, like my eyesight. They have made a sham of shareholder democracy. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. No regulation in the United States requires the borrower of shares to close out long-term outstanding stock loans and settlement failures, the combination of which can be blamed for universal overvoting in matters of corporate governance. All rights of ownership go with the stock share to the borrower, including the right to lend the shares to another borrower. So it just goes on and on and on. There's no limit to lending out shares. Finally, numerous companies have been the subject of aggressive trading attacks that are enabled by the lack of action by regulators. Aggressive trading tactics, such as naked short selling, can impair access to capital and can drive small companies to ruin. Who cares? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Why would it doesn't happen? There's systems in place. Oh, there's systems in place. That's the problem. People don't want to see what's right in front of their eyes. So the White Sox took Shane Smith from the Brewers. The Rockies passed. The Marlins took catcher Liam Hicks from the Tigers. The Angels took left-hand pitcher Garrett McDaniels from the Dodgers. The Athletics took right-hand pitcher Noah Murdoch from the Royals. And the Nationals took right-hand pitcher Evan Reifert from the Rays. All right, let's see what you're saying. If it dips below Friday's close and recovers above the money on Tuesday, is it still, no. Is there still value? No, if it expired on Friday, it has no value. If an option closes in the money, how long is the option good for? That if it closes in the money, it depends on your brokerage firm. They may give you the difference, or they may have sold it automatically. But if you don't exercise, it's a real debate whether, if you don't notify your brokerage firm, it's a real debate whether you are entitled to that. My experience recently, last time was finger motion calls, is that they automatically exercise without telling you. But I don't think that, I don't think if you don't let them know that they do it. But it's basically good till Saturday morning, or four. It used to be 4:20, and now people tell me that time has changed. But it used to be 4:20. It expires. So if its expiry date is Friday, it has no value the next day. And that's something that killed me. E-Trade, for 1 penny. For 1 penny, I did not authorize it. For 1 penny, they exercised a bunch of calls. And then they did it across the board, not just with me. So Monday morning, the stock goes down because the options and the brokerage firm, they all work together with the shorts. The stock goes down because they know there's going to be forced selling, and that's what they did. Before I could even make a phone call in, they sold everything out down 60 cents or something. Big debit. Big debit. And I didn't ask them to exercise those, but they did for 1 penny. So I think some brokerage firms automatically exercise a call that's in the money. They may also sell the call before it expires automatically. But it's all on you. It's all your responsibility to do it. I don't think they have any obligation to rescue your premium for you. They have none. They just try to protect their risk. Do I have any idea what happened with Nixie today? Let's look. No is the answer, but let's look. Yeah, it's down. It's down 26 cents on 660,000 shares. What I think's happening, Benjamin, is there was momentum in the Nixie stock. And they filed that S1, which is public information. And for some reason, which I don't know, a lot of buying came into the stock. I've heard information that people were making recommendations to buy the stock. I don't know, but I wasn't on any of those phone calls. But the stock went up, and I think in most cases, Benjamin, if you've been listening to me for the last, 3 or 4 days, people doubled their money in the stock. I personally think it's going to do extremely well. That's Nixxy, NIXXY.com. But, Benjamin, when announcements are made and people are talking about or even recommending the stock, and the stock goes up and filings are made with the SEC, I think in an abundance of caution, the CEO of the company is going to step back for a little while to make sure that the news is out there with everyone on the full. That's the responsibility of a CEO, that before anything momentous it happens with a stock, good or bad, everybody gets notified all at once and has the chance to see that information alongside everyone else. In practice, it's the people who pay attention to their investments who get the news first. But in theory, by putting it on the SEC website, by putting it on a news service, whatever it is, it goes out to everybody. Shorts and criminals and research companies like White Diamond, they can just put out a crappy bearer. They can put out anything. They can collude. They can cheat. No one cares. Because the money, the criminality is with the money. Money buys Congress, buys regulators, buys college educations, buys lawyers. Money buys everything. There's no ethics anymore in the United States. It's all about money. So anyway, what I think, and I've been trying to make it somewhat clear, Benjamin, to everyone, my opinion, the combination of what I just described and the fact that come next Friday, probably Wall Street's on holiday for 2 weeks. Personally, I think whatever's going on with Nixxy, I don't know. Is it investment banking? Is it a speed up and implementation of their business plan they've already put out in the public markets? Is it revenues that they want to talk about? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It feels like somebody knows something and the stock is up. But I think it's all been delayed to January. That's what I think. Or whenever. But let me try to say it as clearly as I can. If something was in the works now, last week, this week, next week, I think it's been put on hold. And I think it's 2 reasons. One is that activity in the stock going up was suspicious or could be viewed as suspicious when there's a filing. So the best thing a company can do is let time go by, because then there is no confusion. There was no intent. There was nothing wrong. Because I forget the day it was filed, but let's say it's already been a week. If they wait until January, it'll be 30 days. No one can argue, hey, you didn't give the world a chance to read the filing, that you're going to raise money at, I think the price it said, at $3.24 a share in the S1. Now, that was a formula based on 1 day's trading, and it didn't actually say that would be the final price. It was given as an example. But I think from a regulatory standpoint, to leave that filing out there so that everybody looking who's paying $4.85 can read, we're doing an offering possibly at, I forget, it's in the file at 321 a share by memory. If you give it weeks, it's hard for a regulator to argue that somebody didn't know what was going on. So that's what I think's happening. The other thing is the holidays. And the other thing, Benjamin, is people, even when they have a great opportunity, they see another opportunity that they want to be in, and they've doubled their money in Nixie. They might sell a little bit to buy RLAIF because that stock on the charts is breaking out, and they're not Rockefeller. They can't own every stock. And in fact, Rockefeller only owned one stock, Standard Oil. He didn't buy anything else. It's just, that's what I think's going on. It's a long explanation, but I don't think it means that anything's wrong with whatever's happening with Nixie. And I just think it's delayed. And we can't get into stocks. We can't get into stocks and be watching them every day. And when it's down 35 cents, particularly as I've been telling you the last 3 or 4 days, but I've got to come out bluntly. I got to say, I think you should sell. Because you don't hear me otherwise. But I don't think you should sell Nixie. I don't. I think Nixie's going to be spectacular. I think it's going to be a huge home run. The charts tell me so. However, I can't find the chart, of course. It was right here. Here it is. It's an old chart, but it tells the same story. When you break out, you break through, and there's the 550. That line there's 550. It's going to pull back. They're going to test it. The shorts are in there. They're going to bring it back. Nothing goes straight up. So anyway, I would view Nixie as vulnerable for short-term profit taking over the next week. And I would say the week after that, I don't think there's going to be tax loss selling because everybody has a profit. But there could be, the shorts might try to drive it down to clean up their accounts when they go to talk to their clients that Christmas week, maybe, to New Year's. So I just think it could be soft for a couple weeks. However, the stock looks strong. The price has been strong. So maybe something else is going on, and maybe big buyers are buying regardless. I don't know. I can't tell you why. Volume's coming in. The stock's breaking out. There was 50 million shares traded, but something's happening that it's in the stars, in the charts. Anyway, I don't think it's anything momentous. It doesn't change the story. I think there's people who are taking profits and buying RLAIF. There's one guy on Twitter that said so. I think that's going on, but RLAIF isn't going up today. Why not? Why doesn't it go up? Why isn't it going up? It's got to be a bad idea. It's not going up. That's day trading. And I'm not a day trader. If you want day trading, you got to go to, I don't know, Arca, Avid Trader. I've never known personally known anyone that day trades and always wins. I really don't. The greatest stock trader of all time was that guy Livermore. And if you read his book or the book about him, he made huge monies. But then he walked into a hotel closet at a party and blew his brains out. Because even at age 60, he was losing money. The only one is Stevie Cohen that always wins. And if you read the book Black Ice or White Ice or Gray Ice or whatever the hell ice, you can presume that Stevie Cohen cheats and he uses inside information illegally and he does it at arm's length, and he's probably behind teams like Yorkville and Lynn Partners and the Kramers. That's my opinion, but read the book, make your own judgment. Well, the percentage is accrued daily, and I would guess they debit your account every single day. I'm trying to remember how they did margin interest and free credit balance. I think it's charged, it accrues every day. That's what I think. But sorry, accruing and charged is two different things. But what I remember is when you would open the account, that balance would go up every day. But my memory might be wrong. Maybe it just accrues and then it hits once a month. Doesn't matter. It's an obligation that's going to cause the people paying. Benjamin, I'm up 25%. No. I'm not trying to say that you are, Benjamin. I'm not. But the stock went from basically $2.50 to almost $5. Depending, it went. I mean, you might have bought it cheaper than $2.50, and it stalled, and that usually leads to a little bit of profit taking. I think that's all that's going on. I don't personally think that the timeline that I gave or hinted at implied, because of the charts, because of the news they announced, I said it was my favorite year-end trade. I still feel that way. I just think I've said it the last few days. My sense is it's going to go into January now. Is that horrible? I don't think so. It doesn't change anything. But it takes some of the urgency out of owning the shares, and hot money will leave. Day trading money, and they'll come back later. But I don't think you have to wait very long for later. If I had to make a guess, and it's purely a guess, if I were the company, I'd wait at least 30 days from the time they filed that registration statement. I'd wait at least 30 days. But the SEC hasn't approved it yet anyway, so I didn't. Anyway, do I have to say more? Because I'm not negative at all on it. I feel tentative because I promised not to talk about the stock, but then I was told by someone else higher up, go ahead and talk about it. So I have no idea what to do. But Benjamin, nothing is wrong with Nixie. It almost doubled, and it's got a retracement. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong. But the doubling and the retracement are all done on publicly available information and somebody buying and then look, a lot of people, Benjamin, are professional buyers. And if it goes from 260 to 485 and it doesn't follow through, they go ahead and sell. They take their profit and they move on to another trade. And if there's not new buying in there, the stock pulls back. It's called a retracement. It's all healthy. I used to call it the pause for the cause. Nothing should, anyway, go straight up. If it does, it's ricketier than a bamboo scaffolding in a hurricane. So anyway, but Benjamin, if you want a jolt of adrenaline, you want the jolt of a potential short-term trade, my opinion, RLAIF has jumped in front of Nixie as my favorite year-end trade. Why? Just simple. It looks like Nixie's moved back, and RLAIF, there's news, it's breaking out, there's volume. And I know you're going to say, well, isn't there the Christmas holiday? Yes, there is. But maybe they don't celebrate Christmas in Canada. Just kidding. Maybe RLAIF gets delayed to January as well, but the chart is saying something right now. And my concern with RLAIF isn't so much that it has to move this week, next week, December, January. It's that I don't think it's going to be this cheap for very much longer. That's what I'm telling you. I don't think it's going to be this cheap. So it's unfortunate that you can't buy a stock in the morning at RLAIF at 35 cents and go to sleep, wake up the next day, and it's trading at $5. It's just not how it works. It's an ebb and flow. There's buyers and sellers. And in the current markets, as we just discussed, the selling never stops, ever. But every now and then you meet a story. Look at the news stories on Railtown. From most recent going backwards. Railtown to present at the AI in British Columbia demo night. Railtown accepted into the AMD partner network to accelerate AI-driven innovation. Railtown announces closing of a RLAIF. I forget what that is. That's limited investment financial entity. Anyway, I'll look up what RLAIF is short for, as opposed to pipe, I guess. But they entered into a non-brokered private placement and closed it for $2 million. And then the next two stories are about that. And then they announced the European marketing agreement. Railtown is pleased to announce that it has engaged MIC Marketing, Information, and Content Publishing GmbH, MIC, to provide marketing services in Europe for a duration of 6 months, commencing December 1, 2024. Under the terms of the agreement, the company will compensate MIC 250,000 euros during the term. MIC will provide project management and consulting for an online marketing campaign, coordinate marketing actions, maintain and optimize AdWords campaigns, adapt AdWords bidding strategies, optimize AdWords ads, and create optimized landing pages. The promotional activity will occur in Europe by email, Facebook, and Google. With SOC2 certification behind us now, now is the time for us to really step up brand awareness, and we're excited to work with MIC in Europe, Corey Brandolini, CEO, stated. That was November 25th. November 22. Railtown AI achieves SOC2 Type 2 compliance certification. Railtown is proud to announce that it has achieved SOC2 Type 2 certification, which is not contagious, underscoring its dedication to data security, privacy, and compliance. This certification was awarded following an independent audit that validated the company's adherence to the strict standards established by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. The SOC2 Type 2 audit evaluated Railtown's internal controls and policies for handling customer data based on 5 trust service criteria: security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. Achieving SOC2 certification reflects Railtown's proactive approach to protecting sensitive information and building customer trust. We are thrilled to receive this certification, which reinforces our commitment to safeguarding our clients' data with the highest level of security and compliance practices. Our team has worked diligently to meet these standards, which are a testament to the hard work and dedication of everyone at Railtown in delivering secure and reliable services. With Corey Brandolini, CEO, stated, with SOC2 Type 2 certification, Railtown enhances its position as a trusted partner to its clients by ensuring that all operational controls are designed to maintain data integrity and security at all times. The company is committed to continuous improvements and will maintain rigorous compliance protocols to meet the evolving needs of the industries it serves. SOC2 Type 2 certification will build trust with Railtown's customers, reduce sales friction, provide access to larger markets, and enhance brand reputation. The warrants in the offering that Railtown announced, that they are pleased to announce that the company has closed its previously disclosed non-brokered private placement, and they raised money in units, 2.1 million, shares at 30 cents and warrants at 60 cents. So that was just announced on the 9th. News is just coming, and So's Christmas, I know, but sometimes stocks start to break out. Anyway, the warrants are subject to acceleration such that if during a period of 10 consecutive trading days prior to the respective expiry date, which is 24 months, the daily volume weighted average trading price of the shares on the Canadian exchange exceeds $1.20. That's probably US a dollar, but $1.20 for each of those 10 consecutive days, the company may, within 30 days of such an occurrence, give written notice to the holders of the warrants that the securities will expire at 5 p.m. Vancouver time on the 30th day following the giving of notice, unless exercised by the warrant holders prior to such a date. And that tells me this guy, Corey Brandolini, built a technology company, sold it to Microsoft. Then he built another technology company, sold it to someone. This time he's not going to sell his company? I bet he is. And I bet he wants to be able, if the stock price goes up, I bet he wants to be able to clean up his cap table so he'll get the most favorable acquisition price. But that's just, we don't know. We're just guessing. Time Magazine names Kamala Harris Person of the Year. No, Trump. Still, daily obligation creates pain for the shorts. Yes, it does create pain. Yes, I think it's better than GTII, Jack. Everything has been better than GTII for about a year and a half. And longer, well, a year and a half at least. And if you've been watching, you've heard me emphasize many other things than GTII. But thanks. It's good that you, in your gift to the world, is negativity, FUD, your contribution is just basically being a bully, stealing, destroying. But hey, thanks for joining. I mean, I love your perspective. I need to know that I lost a ton of money myself in GTII. I need you to remind me, because hey, that means the other ideas are all bad ideas. There's a connection in logic. It works this way in logic. If GTI did not work, that means any other recommendation is not going to work. It's called Mendelssohn's first law of logic. One recommendation didn't work. Therefore, a recommendation to buy silver at $26 and even below that was not going to work, so you ignore that. The recommendation to buy Nixie 240, 250, 260 isn't going to work, because remember Mendelssohn's first law of recommendation. If one recommendation doesn't work, every other recommendation isn't going to work. That's Jack Wolf's law of recommendations. And therefore, RLAIF isn't going to work. GTI didn't work because Jack Wolf and his buddies shorted it to hell, but also it looks like the CEO might have been in on it. But the stock went from 9 cents to $9. GTII went from 9 cents to $8.97, $9. But anyway, according to Jack Wolf's first law of recommendation, any stock that goes up 100x and you, me, myself, you fail to get out of it, therefore every other recommendation is going to be a bad recommendation. Jack Wolf's second law of recommendations, do not take into consideration any other information like why it might have gone down or that it went up before it went down. Only refer to Jack Wolf's first law of recommendations, which is if one recommendation turns sour, even though in the middle of the time the guy talking about it also turned negative, that means all other recommendations are going to be bad. So according to Jack Wolf, and that's his real name, you should, what? What's his idea? That where you should put your money? Oh, I know. Call up Jack Wolf, work with Stevie Cohen, Yorkville, the Kramers. I don't know. Find your big backer, get in touch with a market maker, and you could probably start with as little as 25 grand in your account. Pick stocks that sign these toxic convertible notes and start day trading, shorting them every time they're up. Sometimes come on here and talk about a stock that's up and encourage people like Roger Rabbit did to get in a stock, and then it's going to come down and you can harvest the money on the way down. So I really appreciate it, Jack. I'm glad you're here. What are the catalysts do I think could drive RLAIF upward? And where could the price go in the next couple of months? 10x is where I think it's going to go. Let's just do a little thought experiment. According to their news, and I showed you, Sean, I showed you, you can go to their website. I showed you their presentation. I showed it to you. All the money they've raised over the last years, 85% has gone to software development. They've developed a software using AI technology, as I understand it. I'm not a techie guy, but as I understand it, it replaces, you used to have to hire a team at a company to go into your clunky software and say, you know what, this is 20 years old. Could you find the problem with the software, the glitches, and could you fix those, and could you upgrade it? And you'd have to take a team and pay the team, and it could take a year, it could take 9 months. This AI-directed application that Railtown has come up with, literally, as I heard it, takes what might cost tens of millions of dollars and 2 or 3 dozen human beings a year to work. Once installed, it can solve that, do that search and cleanup in minutes. Minutes. They're in as I showed you on the corporate presentation, you can go to the website and see it. They're in the Microsoft ecosystem now. There's 150 million shares outstanding, roughly. A little less than that, but let's use 150 million. Let's say that Microsoft, let's pick Microsoft. Look, they have partnerships with Microsoft, NVIDIA. It's on the website. Now AMD and a couple of others. But let's just use Microsoft because that's the biggest name there. Now, Microsoft already is providing the service to some of their clients because this is in their Azure program. Technology takes ongoing monies and brain power to keep it up to speed. So it looks like, as best I can tell, and I'm not a tech guy, so you got to use your own judgment, but I've invested in technology, and I'm closely associated with an oil and gas company who's doing this exact same model. It's a private company right now, but they're doing the cloud-based, technology-based service, and they're gathering customers. They spent 2 or 3 years to develop it, and the guy running it, his last 2 companies he sold to Halliburton and Schlumberger. So it's logical he's going to sell this company. It's a great investment. So to me, this one stands out because this CEO sold his last 2 companies. And there's a speed of acceleration in the technology space where when awareness comes in and you can take what used to take 9 months and a lot of money and do it in minutes, there's an opportunity to profit, and you get you get a hockey stick movement in valuation. Is Microsoft going to start at ground zero and try to create their own competing proprietary AI technology? It'll take a long time. Or do they just buy them out? The model has been in the past and will be in this case, in my opinion, a buyout. I don't know who or when, but that's just the pattern. So I think RLAIF could be $1. Those warrants say $1.20. That's Canadian. That's a good target, I think, in the short run. $1. RLAIF, $1 by the end of the year. I think that's a good target. But I think there'll be a lot more coming in the new year for the company. It's all there. I mean, they're doing a marketing campaign. They're putting the awareness out there. The technology they've worked on is working. And so there's going to be an acceleration. So let's see, what would Microsoft pay? I don't know. $150 million? I doubt it. My experience with big companies, but of course I'm talking about primarily investments in other spaces in the market. The big companies don't want to look at anything that hasn't been proven and doesn't have some size on it, doesn't already have some customers. So my guess, regardless of how long it takes, maybe it's next year sometime, if a Microsoft were to buy this company, it would be in the billions of dollar range. 1, 2, 3. Let's just call it 1.5 billion. And I'm just guesstimating now. Let's call it 1.5 billion. There's 150 million shares outstanding. Even I can do that arithmetic. That's $10. That's where look, I just used round numbers. It may not be $1.5 billion. It may not be $1 billion. Maybe it's 750 million. I don't know. It'll be some number. But I'm just giving you the magnitude of what I think can happen in RLAIF. You might have to wait, or you might be facing a trade that happens within, like you say, a couple of months. Let me ask you, Sean, let's say the stock went to 10x by January, by Martin Luther King's birthday. Let's say it went to $3.50 on rumors or credible discussion that the company had engaged in talks to be bought out. I don't know. I'm creating a just suppose. Would it be best for you to sell at $3.50 and have to pay short-term taxes? Or would it be better to wait and see if a Microsoft or an AMD or a NVIDIA offered a stock exchange to acquire the company? Because in an exchange of stock, you don't have to pay taxes until you sell the newco. So that would be a decision that you have to make. And of course, I would add in there that you have to put in your head that all these high flyers like Microsoft and NVIDIA could come back down to earth at some point in the next couple of years. But anyway, Sean, my main reason for emphasizing it now, while nobody's looking right now, I think you're not going to be able to buy RLAIF for very much longer, under 40 cents, under 50 cents, even under $1. I just don't think you're going to be able to. They're at this conference. I think research will come out. I think they're on it. They have this marketing campaign I just read to you. Who knows who out over in Europe might start following it. This is a technology. This is AI. This is technology. This is just right up the sweet spot of all these investment banks. Unlike the field I'm in, mostly, gold and silver and oil and gas, they're ignored by the investment banks. I think that's going to change in the beginning of next year, particularly under Trump. But anyway, I've talked too much. Those are my thoughts. Chris LeCoisier, I moved out of Nix for this gift. I'm not a trader, but this, in my opinion, is an opportunity rarely found. You know, Chris, I have clients who have felt that way. And you know what they found? Feel, felt, found. The feel, felt, found close. Anyway, let me read what else Chris says. Okay, so I guess he heard my number. 1.5 billion RLAIF is undervalued. Wow. Chris, come next week. The stock will be over $2 in my opinion. I have spoken to 2 fund managers who are positioning as we speak after the AMD partnership. Wow. Sean. I mean, I know Chris. I don't think he would say that lightly. Can I walk you through the potential benefit of pending dividend for Finger? Could that confirm the total share count for Finger if that happens? So, Chris, if you want to clarify a little bit more, you can. I'll answer this question in the meantime. No, it won't. It won't give you a total share count for Finger. It will not. Look at MMTLP Nextbridge. They know the share count. But do you? No. The system will not share that with you. Your broker, if they were honest, could tell you what their discrepancy is, but they don't know the entire system. So it's possible if you have an honest broker and you called up, but you don't have an honest broker. If you call them up, they might tell you, in our system, we are out of whack 3-1, but they're not going to tell you that either. So no, it will not, in my opinion, it will not confirm a share count. The dividend for Finger will give you 1 share of Finger for every 10 you have. So that's a benefit. If the stock goes up, you're going to get 10% more bang for your investment. I personally think that the brokerage systems will put warrants in your account. You won't know if they're real or Memorex. And so I don't think it's going to do much. Now, on the positive side, I think there are 2 brokerage firms who might have, and this is just me talking, but Fidelity, who was paying 1,000% to borrow Finger Motion shares when Finger Motion was $7, $8, $9, and the exercise price of those warrants were $275. Fidelity was paying $1,000 to locate shares, 1,000% to locate shares. Then came Roger Rabbit of GNS. Then came Gus Fliakos of Cosmos. Then came the combined power and might of the Kramers and Alpine, and the $1 billion that they had, they were in trouble by my reckoning. Money. They were able to coordinate an attack and get everyone to help Roger Rabbit out with his dyed hair and his dulcet British accent to prove that he's so smart. He just stole from the entire market. He set you up. He got the excitement up, did a deal, and his stock is down. He had a contracts. Brilliant. Same with Gus Fliakos at Cosmos. But anyway, they have all the bag of tricks, and they got Finger back down. But if you think through it, if this time Fidelity simply puts into your account an entry, hey, you've got your warrants, even though you don't, if it ever goes to court, if there ever is a regulatory crackdown, this time Fidelity will not be able to deny hey, we didn't know what was happening. Oh, it was a 12-year-old in our receiving department. She didn't know what was going on. Oh, we didn't notice this glitch in our computer system. Oh, Your Honor, we've never seen this problem before. Fidelity can't say that. A year ago, they had the problem. We know it because they were paying 1,000% to borrow stock. That's also true, apparently, of Wells Fargo, who took away the buy button. So it's possible this dividend could have a different impact than the previous one. But Sean, I'm not expecting fireworks. I don't think it'll do anything. I think the liars will just continue to lie. The defrauders will continue to defraud. The joke that is Wall Street will continue to be a joke, and it'll make Stevie Cohen rich enough that he can buy Juan Soto, Frank Howard, and Ted Williams and bring them all back to life and win the World Series because he's the honest genius. He's just a criminal. They're never going to confirm the share count. Look, this is throughout the U.S. bond market. It's in the silver market. It's in the big cap stocks. They don't want it out there. That's why I think Trump and the new SEC should just focus on micro caps and small caps. You don't need high frequency trading in a stock that trades 5,000 shares a day unless you're a crook. You don't need an extra 2 or 3 days to find the stock that you're going to sell in a stock that trades 500 shares a day unless you're a crook. You don't need the exemption of Reg Show in a stock that has an entire market cap smaller than Kim Kardashian's rear end and the amount of money she makes on a weekend with a Saudi prince. Unless you're a crook. And I think that's the place to start. Let the big boys fight their own battles. Down in the over-the-counter markets, let's get rid of high-frequency trading. Let's get rid of toxic convertible notes and any other note that has tranches, backward-looking financing. Let's have full transparency on who's buying the shares, what LLCs, all the way through on every offering. Who is buying them? Full transparency. No high-frequency trading. No exemptions, possibly no short sales at all. Then you can bring back the American dream. Then you can make America the financial engine of the world again. But as long as you allow Stevie Cohen to cheat, the arrogant mother, or you allow Kenny Griffin to cheat, or you allowed Lloyd Blankenfline at whatever the hell that brokerage firm is, Goldman Sachs, to cheat, or Larry Flink at Blackstone to cheat, we're going to continue having this. These are modern day criminals protected by Congress, protected by the legal system, protected by the regulators. Why? They own them. They also own the press, and they distract us with bread and circuses and spoils from foreign wars. And they pretend we have a democracy. But what they're really doing is using your economic engine and work, your good faith and credit collectively, to have the government issue trillions of dollars of debt so they can get richer beyond belief. And they didn't earn it. They stole it. They're not smarter than anybody else. They don't deserve it. Stevie Cohen does not deserve his wealth. He doesn't deserve it. He started in a shitty little firm called Grunthal, and he all of a sudden, because he trades on inside information, he makes massive bets on inside information. And I'm sure, and all of this is my opinion, but I read the book, I'm sure that he sponsors guys like the Kramers and Yorkville and Lynn Partners and Ansem Funds and teaches them how to do this criminality. And if it's not Stevie Cohen, he's the honest man on Wall Street, and he's not an honest man. All right, RLAIF Technology, Chris LeQuassier. RLAIF Technology is a game changer. Their artificial intelligence fixes all flaws in any program built or being scaled. AMD, Microsoft, NVIDIA all need this and can build it for $5 billion. Wow. So in other words, in order for Advanced Micro Devices or Microsoft or NVIDIA to turn it into a Manhattan project, because they'd have to do it quickly, because the new technology accelerates demand. And in order to get into this space with a new game-changing technology, they can't take 3 years or 5 years. They're going to have to do it immediately. So Chris is suggesting it would take $5 billion to do a concentrated effort. It's much easier to buy RLAIF for $1.5 billion. Yep. That's been my experience in the areas that I've raised money. For example, oil and gas. One would argue, why would Exxon come in and buy Pioneer for billions of dollars? Why didn't they just buy those leases, do the drilling themselves, and it would have been cheaper than buying Pioneer at such a profit? And the answer is they have the money, and then it's better for them to use their manpower, woman power, on other projects than on a startup. But a lot of startups fail, and Jeff Easton makes sure all startups fail. So in technology like oil and gas, you have an idea, and Railtown had an idea 3 or 4 years ago, and they, at 85% of the money they raised, first from friends and family, then from angel rounds, and then from the markets. At least it used to be that way. They're just kind of going flat. Maybe it's up and down, but it's basically all inside of a range. It might go from 5 cents to $1.50, but it's all in this slow accumulation until the product is proven. And then you get this accelerated value creation that goes, right now the market cap's 50 million or something like that. Once it's proven, and they're giving their story at supposedly the premier AI conference in the world, at least in Canada. And you know, the Canadians do have 30 million people. But anyway, and they have the campaign in Europe. As the story gets out and the concept is proven, you can get value creation on a hockey stick basis. And this is where you get your This is where you get your 10x, 15x, 20x jump in valuation. And your question is, well, why didn't Microsoft see it down here? They don't have the man hours to screen every single company. You don't know how much time this is going to take. And ultimately, you don't know if it's going to fail. But in this case, because of the announcements that are coming out, they just got, do you think that AMD approved them because they're failing? I don't think so. So other people are doing your due diligence. It's like that singer for Kiss said. The reason all the other girls came to sleep with him is because he was dating this hot chick, And that hot chick had done the homework for all those other girls. In their mind, that's how he saw it. I heard him say that on an interview. So this is hockey stick time. Now, the question is, why doesn't Microsoft do it down there? And why are they happy to do it at a higher price? I go through this, and you see it in small oil and gas projects all the time that get bigger. You could make this same argument. Why while Pioneer was developing their Permian Basin assets, didn't Exxon buy them? Exxon had better things to do with their time. And then the Permian got hot, oil prices came back, and all of a sudden, as production and infrastructure came in place, I don't know what the multiple was, 10x, 15x, Exxon buys them up here. Why? Why would these big companies be so stupid to wait after the stock is up here and pay I don't know how to express this to you. But when it gets up here, it goes from an algorithmic return to an arithmetic return. And the big boys are willing to buy if they can project 8%, 15%, 20% for as long as the eyes can see with certainty. These are the kind of returns they want to bring to their bottom line, and they can use their capital on to keep their share prices high. They'd rather pay full price than pay a risky price down here with friends and family. But once it's proven, or in RLAIF's case, proven, Microsoft is willing to pay full price, or AMD or NVIDIA. In the case of, let's call it high tech, AI, I don't know what AI is called, but technology, because it's not a field that I spent a lot of time in. I raised a little bit of money, so I learned a little bit. But things move so quickly. As soon as something's hot, there's no time. This happens really quickly, in my experience, if it's a good story. Oil and gas, it's less so. There's always another project, there's another place. But that's not true if it's a new discovery. If it's a new discovery, things can get pretty hot pretty quickly. It's all psychology. Or gold, or silver. So anyway, the big boys would rather pay full price or maybe 15% discount from the full price than buy down here. And I think that RLAIF is here. That's what I think. Actually, I think it's here. I don't think it's broken out yet. But how high does it go? I don't know. But I would start at 10x. Maybe 15x. Maybe more. All you're trying to do is catch a wave, and I see a wave here. In the more immortal words of Mish Rainey, kick in the door, waving the fourth floor. Okay, I don't recognize that. China wants to invest in NVIDIA. I bet. I think Intel is if I owned NVIDIA, I'd sell enough NVIDIA, take my profits, and buy Intel. But Intel looks like it might go bankrupt, so it's risky. But that's when there's blood in the streets. So if I owned 1,000 shares of NVIDIA, I'd take enough profit in NVIDIA to buy 1,000 shares of Intel now. And maybe more, but that's what I would do. Chris LeQuassier, RLAIF drying up ask is getting thin, in my opinion. Let's see how it's trading. Man, my eyesight. Okay, last trade. RLAIF 0.3475. The bid is 0.345. 8,500 on the bid. The ask is 0.3499, 3,500. But let's see if I can get last time I looked at this, I got the time and sales, but they're not giving it to me right now. Earnings in, let's see, insider activity. Insider activity is buying, but I don't know how much. This doesn't help me very much. I think I might have been looking on a different website. Anyway, it's basically you can buy it for 35 cents. One of the reasons I'm emphasizing Railtown, I agree with Chris, as the awareness comes, I just don't think you're going to be able to buy it under 40 cents very much longer, 50 cents very much longer. And we'll go back over what Chris is saying because he's even more fired up than I am. RLAIF drying up ask is getting thin, in my opinion. Larger investors will be at the conference tonight and tomorrow, and it might cause RLAIF to trade up. Chris used to attend ASCO when he covered biotech. Large investors go to these. Yes, that's totally true. They all go, or they send somebody that they trust to go. Yeah, well, can any of this even be proven? Naked shorts. Maybe stock prices drop sharply or gradually based on common selling because people don't like the company. I'm sorry, but I'm an asshole. Oh no, I mean I'm a man of proof. Dr. Suzanne Trembeth, business instructor at Cochise College. She started her training in finance and economics at the Federal Reserve Bank in San Francisco. She worked in operations at depository trust and clearing corporations in San Francisco and New York, including the DTC. A privately run central clearing agency in the United States. She was senior research economist in capital markets at the Milken Institute before forming her own company. Sid, read this book and get back to me if you're really truly a man of proof or just a piece of shit. Understanding leases have many strings attached with lawyers. That's why they can't flat out buy the leases. Well, all right, I was quick with my wording. That's not what I meant to say, but yeah, okay, I agree with you. What I meant is, why doesn't Exxon, they got all the brain power, why didn't they go into the Permian, lease up the basin, and start proving it up themselves with the new horizontal and fracking. They didn't. They were offshore. They had sold everything to Whitehead, whatever that guy's name was. No, it was the other way around. They bought Whitehead's company to come back in. But the majors went offshore, and then they've come back. Anyway, I misspoke. You make a good point. You illustrate perfectly the AMD deal is a threat now to the research and development team at Microsoft. Mark my words, this conference brings in hedge fund buyers. There you go, research buy analysts, that's right. AI is the new biotech. AI is the new black. And once you go AI, you are unable to use slower software solutions. Some leases on federal land, private land, Indian reservations. Yeah, I agree. I spoke quickly. I'm not saying that Exxon would go in and afterward, small companies form and prove up oil projects. They start with $1 million, $10 million, and they grow it to $500 million, $1 billion, and then Exxon or another company comes and buys the whole thing. That's all I was trying to say. Just bought RLAIF. Cool. Keep promoting. What do you want me to promote on site? Your great service? Who are you? What do you recommend? I guess you recommend, you're promoting negativity. You're promoting skepticism. You're promoting FUD because you want to sell stock that doesn't exist, and you get paid $7.50 every time people mention your name. On site, on site, on site, on site, on site. Okay, you can buy dinner. Ken G's comments regarding market makers' role in setting ticker. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I was talking quickly, Mad Max. You know a lot more about the oil business, I'm sure, than I do. One thing I've learned, and I started investing in oil and gas in the late 80s. And when I first got in the business at Merrill Lynch, we had a broker that would come up and talk to us, and he'd get up and he'd always present a stock to us, and it would be, I liked him a lot. His girlfriend didn't much like me, but he was a pretty powerful guy, always full of energy. But he'd get up in front, and he had a voice from smoking, I think, but he stopped. He could lift weights with the best of them, but he would get up and he'd have his oil stock. This stock is unbelievable. It's got no debt. And then he'd tell us, but all I remember, every stock he presented had no debt. But that's when Merrill Lynch was still selling oil and gas partnerships. It was right at the end of it. And then they went on a streak of selling real estate partnerships for quite a while. The Hubbard and a couple of others, CRE something. But these were, ultimately, they all worked. But anyway, what I've learned about oil and gas is, as much as I study it, as much money as I raise, as many contacts as I have, as I visit project after project, and there's always something new. It's always something new. So I never pretend to know what I'm talking about, but I know enough, I think, to ask the right questions. This is not free market practice. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, so I want to, before I go, I want to show you something together. We'll do it together. I haven't looked at the website, but finally I was watching another service. He mentioned it, and I finally found it. This is a service that I believe Boom, Doom, and Gloom guy, oh gosh, Mark Farber joined a company and he promoted it 15 years ago. And I was looking for it everywhere. I couldn't find it. And now this might be a different iteration of it, but it's there and I want to show it to you. But I want to finish up on RLAIF. I want to go back up to where Chris said here. Chris said it's his opinion, but he thinks RLAIF is now undervalued, and that's what I think. It's weird. 3 months ago, it wasn't undervalued, but now that it's got the certification, now that it's got everything done, and it's working, and it's the market awareness is happening, and I assume clients are coming on board. I don't know. That's one open issue. The value is higher. But what takes it from here to here? I think his awareness. I think his proof of concept. The aha moment. Oh my gosh, you can do in minutes, which used to take months. Minutes to months. That's, to me, that's. And anyway, then you get here. So Chris, let's just restate this. RLAIF is undervalued. Next week, Chris is saying, so before the Christmas holidays, the stock could be over $2 in his opinion, based on his conversations with 2 hedge fund managers who were starting to buy the stock. And I would say that the volume of 941,000 shares is starting to suggest that somebody's buying Railtown. And I won't mention another town because I don't want to be blocked. All right, I want to show you guys something together. And then I'll sign off, unless there's questions. Okay, there's Railtown. Why don't you take me down to Railtown? Oh, come on. Oh, I'm using the wrong keyboard. Very good, very good. Okay. This is what I want to show you. Do you see this? Okay, I'm showing it to you. Glint, G-L-I-N-T, like Clint Eastwood. Glint, goldenrod. Glint Eastwood. Gold as money. Buy, save, and spend real gold instantly with Glint. As featured in the Times, TechCrunch, Newsmax, Bloomberg, Financial Times, CNBC. Get the app. You can put it on your phone just like blockchain, Bitcoin. All right, gold. Gold, precious, luxurious, now everyday money. Some banks loan gold to make money. Cryptocurrencies backed by gold are digital token that has a claim on gold. Let me see if I need to zoom in a little bit for you to read it. An exchange-traded fund ETF doesn't allow you to own the gold directly either. At Glint, we're different. Your gold is physical gold bullion legally allocated to you and stored in a Brinks vault in Switzerland. You have constructive possession of your gold under the law. I don't know what constructive possession means because I'm not a lawyer, but I suppose it means you own it. It's just there's a couple of documents between you and being able to go get that gold. For every ounce of gold held in your account at Glint, see this, Glint, at glintpay.com. For every ounce of gold held in your account, there is an ounce of physical gold owned by you in the vault in Switzerland. There is no token, no fund, no bank, no ETF who sits between you and the ownership of your gold. Glint users can be 100% confident that their gold is safe and accessible by them via their Glint app and at all times. By the way, I'm not being paid to tell you about this. I wish I were. I wish they'd give me an ounce of gold, but I'm not being paid, and I didn't get invited to tell you about it. I've been looking. I couldn't remember the name, but this was called something else 10 or 15 years ago, and it was still in the process of they were using little bits of gold, and they had a card, but it was still being formed. Now here it is. I love it. If you travel, Glint can help you save a substantial amount of money by avoiding the extortionate markups added to exchange rates by banks and money exchange bureaus. You can move your money into the Great Britain pound, the Euro Union money, and the United States dollar, and spend it in any of more than 150 currencies, which MasterCard offers, with only 0.5% transaction fee. Paper money used to be backed by gold. You could directly convert your paper money into the equivalent value of gold. That was a promise by the United States government. It was a promise made by the Bank of England. This is was anyway, as the gold standard. But in 1933, President FDR said, "I welcome their hatred," and he closed all U.S. banks and ordered Americans to hand over their gold coins in exchange for $20 an ounce. He effectively ended the gold standard in the United States, and the country officially ended the practice under President Nixon in 1971. This allowed the government to have greater control over money supply, print more money as needed. It also meant the value of currency was no longer tied to a commodity. Is there an alternative? And he goes through the negatives on cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to talk negatively about crypto. We believe cryptocurrencies share our vision, which is that everyone deserves an equal opportunity to prosper with a secure and reliable form of money. Glint plus gold and crypto both deliver a more reliable, independent, and ultimately fairer alternative to fiat. Why gold? Gold has historically been good money. Okay, leading the movement for a global payments revolution, our vision. Glint believes in financial fairness. We have a vision of a world where everyone has equal opportunity to prosper. Unless you're not white. No, just kidding. I'm trying to remember what Homer Simpson said about the United States of America's Constitution. I can't remember the joke, so I'll stop there. But he narrowed it down to nobody has equal rights. But he started, anyway, it was funny when you watched it. We believe in a world where everybody has an opportunity to prosper. Glint was invented to liberate everyone. It's an alternative. Our mission, we're on a mission to provide the world with a reliable form of money. The vault is in Switzerland. Our investors, British Business Bank, Tokyo Commodity Exchange, Sprott Asset Managers, Sibian Stillwater, our board, Jason Cozens, Haruku Fukuda, Arigato, Marcus Grubb, Oliver Bolitho, Sir John Hegarty, Craig Dewar. Careers. We are a fintech startup. Join the revolution. Hey, maybe I'll go get a job there. There's some articles. I'm not going to go through them. So I want to show you Glint. I'm going to come back and take that down. So anyway, they're not paying me anything, but I think Glint's pretty keen. You put your money in, your gold is in a vault, and then you have a card so you can always spend it. I actually see the card as a negative because you'll spend your gold. You don't want to spend your gold. You want to spend your time making money. And then spend your love making time. Nix is about to go green. I know it has a lot of strength in it. So it's hard to, Benjamin, it's very hard to predict short-term movements, but hey. Right questions is knowing too much. Yeah, I know. That's a good point. That's a little arrogant, isn't it? Yeah, I don't mean to be that way. DJT holding 35.85. That's going to bust out. And if he rings his bell, ring my bell, ring it. If he rings the bell tomorrow, who's to say? DJT might be up and away. All right, unless Chris has something more to say, I'm going to sign off because in 20 minutes, I think I have somebody coming to my gold is, God, all these gold things are breaking out, guys. They're all breaking out. I can't emphasize to you enough how everything in the precious metals is breaking out. This is, if you have to buy one gold stock, Barrick Gold is as good as it gets, in my opinion. Newmont, but Barrick Gold, you know, God, all these ads. Something like that. You could even draw it higher, but right here, it's breaking out over its 20-day moving average. And Next is the 200-day moving average. But you've got this gap to fill here. And then $20 will pose some resistance. But $21, and you're off. Let's see what it does for 5 years. Man, it's waking up. Next year, these stocks are going to be the leaders, in my opinion. And you don't have to buy anything other than the big. Look at this gap connecting with that gap, connecting to that gap. It's probably a useless line. Yeah, $21. Look at that. There's a gap there, sort of. And then the recent highs are $24. And then all this congestion at 27. I know it's not a squeeze play, but that looks great. Let's look at Newmont. Same thing. Well, that actually looks a little, that hasn't broken through yet. Is that the 5 year? Let's just do the 1 year. Yeah, it hasn't quite broken through, but it's showing strength. And to me, look at this collapse. This is going to go straight up when the buying comes in. There will be no hesitation. It'll go from 42 to 58 in a heartbeat, in my opinion. All right, let me just sign out because I've got to get ready. Let me see if there's anything else. Hey, Mark, thank you, Mark. 3621. We should look at DJT. We should look at DJT. Wow. That looks powerful. That looks powerfully good. My prediction, pain. I say $55 is the next stopping point for that stock. 55 smackers. So good on all you guys that own it. All right, so I'm going to sign out. Thank you for watching. Let me look one last time at Railtown. Last chance to buy Railtown under 40 cents. No, still under 40 cents. It's 35.5. The bid is 35.02. The ask 37. Wow. Starting, and the volume is almost 1 million. Almost 1 million. So right now, the bid is 10,000 shares at 35 cents, 02. The ask is 37,000 shares. They show 52,000 for sale. I bet it's a spoof. I think Chris is right. I think the ask is starting to show weakness, but that's a guess. I can't prove that. All right. Yes, Mark. Peace, love, happiness, health, and wealth, and puppy dogs. 55 big ones for DJT. I'm going to sign out. I wish everyone the best. Pray for peace around the world. And let's hope Israel is able to conquer as much land as they want and just get it all over with so they can stop war. Let's let them have Syria. Let's let them have Jordan. They give it all to them. This is in the Bible. Let's not stop Netanyahu. Let's just let him go. God. Anyway, pray for peace for those children in those war zones. Just pray for those children. They deserve a childhood without, oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about it. All right, peace and cheers, everybody. I hope you have a nice evening.